Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Nethergate Resurrection. Well, we've done the big intro, long as it was, and probably multiple parts, and we've spoken with the guy in charge, and we have our mission. Go to a mine in the west and get a satchel that was left behind. Meanwhile, people haven't been telling us very much about what's going on in here. Something strange about Shadowvale. That said, we should head out. And unlike in the previous game, where you walk out of an area and could go straight to an area, this way works differently. We have an overmap. Yes, things around here, we just walk around and travel in great distances, just like this. It just means I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to record this. I figure maybe around, I don't know, half an hour an episode. As you start to climb up this steep valley, you realize that it is taking you out of Shadowvale. Ahead of you lies the rest of Britannia, violent and chaotic, true, but in a way you can understand. Sadly, though, you turn back and descend again into the Vale. It is a strange place, full of mystery and unexpected dangers, but as much as you might like to leave, it seems to be where you are most needed. Yes. What's this? Someone has set themselves up a nice little shack here. Well, a bit more of a hovel. It's a crude home made of wattle and daub, with a few even cruder storage sheds nearby. Whoever lives here doesn't plan to be here long. Outside the little house, a scrawny horse picks at the grass, and a wooden cart collects mold and bird droppings. A thin trail of smoke emerges from a hole in the roof. Someone must be home. Enter. You knock on one of the moldy logs that make up the doorway, and soon a man pokes his head outside. He wears the clothes of one of the local tribesmen, but when he speaks you can immediately tell that he's actually a Roman. Welcome! Call me Julius, I'm a traveling merchant. He looks over at his horse sadly. Well, I was until the rebellion. I was trying to go west to get away from Boudica and her violent ways, but, well... He looks west towards Shadow Valley Fort. He shakes his head angrily. The commander at the fort over there, he's told his soldiers to not let anyone through the Vale. Everywhere else, though, there's the rebels. I'm afraid to go out there. So that's why I'm here. Stuck. Still, bitter olives and give good oil as Mother Augustus, protect her soul, told me before I came here. And since you're here and you seem friendly enough, perhaps you would care to sample some of my goods. Toga... No, I didn't want... I didn't want that. I wanted to see what it was. A stola is the sort of dress worn by the higher-class Roman woman. It's generally made of nice, brightly colored fabric like silk or cotton. I have to remember, click on these. Oh god, a sling! God, that's expensive. Well, we're gonna have to remember those slings. Hopefully we can find them. Fibulae. A fibulae is a clasp used to hold a cloak around someone's neck. They could be made of precious metals and be quite fancy. Okay. Nothing else of information or note there. Just explore. You begin to descend into Shadowvale. The valley extends beyond the range of your vision, shining and sparkling under the sun. You pause for a moment to enjoy the view. It's a beautiful place. Tranquil rivers partition the valley into sections of rich forest, teeming with game, warm fields, and smoothly sloping hills. You can't wait to enter and explore. As you prepare to march, you see a patrol of Roman soldiers. You start to wave at them as they pass, only to realize that they're approaching you. You wait for them and see what they have to say. When you speak with them, however, one of them says, apologetically, "Many apologies. Commander Vibius has instructed us to prevent anyone not specifically cleared by him from entering the Vale. He specifically mentioned you as not cleared." An order from the commander. Disobeying it would be very ill-advised. You prepare to turn back. "Perhaps you should instead look to the west. There is much there worth exploring." As you say. Can we get up in there? Huh. I think we can. There is a small group of Roman soldiers patrolling the land surrounding the fort. They bear the same unusual marks that you saw on the scout inside. Burns, claw marks as if from a large animal. They are very alert and very nervous. You try to speak with them, but they only give you the most perfunctory greetings before they resume their vigil. As you force your way through this unusually thorny and difficult bit of undergrowth, you have the good fortune of noticing the glint of metal under a nearby boulder. Kneeling down to look, you find a beautiful sword covered with moss and still grasped by the skeletal hand of its previous owner. With a bit of cleaning, it might be a perfectly usable weapon. I'll take it. As you pry off and discard the bony hand, you notice something interesting. There are claws at the end of the fingers. How unusual. It's a sword we can sell. But all these claws. Concerning. As for why I went back there, well, it was a stone in an area that seemed to be surrounded by something. Surrounded by difficult ways to get in. It's a way to tell when you should go somewhere. Shadowvale is not living up to its name. So far, everywhere you've seen on this isle has been cold, murky, foggy, muddy, or wet. Shadowvale, on the other hand, is nothing but lovely and pleasant. The sun is bright and shining. It's warm, and there's not a cloud in the sky. Bright birds soar overhead, and your noses are overwhelmed by the sense of wildflowers and leafy trees. The light almost makes things seem to sparkle. Yet while this area is both beautiful and relaxing, something seems wrong about it. Somehow the outdoors here seem more like a painting than reality. You almost suspect that if you extended your finger and scratched the air, you would scrape aside the glowing patina and reveal rain underneath. The feeling only lasts for a moment, though. Soon the beauty of your surroundings reasserts itself. You continue to march west, resigned, willing or not, to enjoy this lovely day. Strange. Ah, that's the edge of this area, which would allow us to move into the next. Yes, see? Difficult to reach here, but there's a bit of bones there. Wadded up at the base of the cliff, you find the stripped corpse of a Roman soldier who clearly met some sort of violent end. Whoever killed him did so with a blunt object, then stripped him of all goods and left the body for the birds. You cannot imagine who would perform such a violent and criminal act upon one of Rome's soldiers. Whoever is responsible must be punished, quickly and without mercy. Yes, I imagine. The people of Rome shall hold them responsible. Let's see. This is a small, murky pool of water, a sour fence seemingly provided by nature to relieve any possible shortage of mosquitoes in this area. You can almost feel the bugs crawling under your armor as you approach. Standing by the water, you see a withered, bent-over old woman, leaning heavily on a wooden staff. She makes every woman you've ever seen look young and sprightly in comparison. Her face has fused into one enormous wrinkle. When she hears you, she peers in your direction with milky eyes and waves. She seems to be motioning for you to approach. Do you? Sure. You approach to within 20 feet of the hag, and she motions for you to stop. That is close enough. You are too trusting, too beholden to appearances. That will serve you ill in Shadowvale. She begins to speak. You struggle to hear her soft, creaky voice. You come from a corrupt land, with vicious, bloodthirsty leaders, but even the charnel house that is Rome now and to be will not prepare you for Shadowvale. We can help you. Without us, you have little chance of defeating the horrible threats that lie ahead. Look for the caverns of the crones. There we will wait, and there we will help you. Now I must return. You ask how she can manage to get anywhere, being so old and frail and all, and she laughs. Oh, how kind. But worry not. To travel is not difficult for me. I was never really here, after all. We are waiting for you. Don't disappoint us. And having said that, she... well, what it looks like is her disappearing into thin air. That's impossible, of course. She must have just slipped away somehow. I thought there was supposed to be a town over here. Oh, I guess not. Alright. And it looks like the fort is here. You are near the entrance to an mine. You are near the entrance to an abandoned mine. Britannia has many mines, which produce lead, tin, and other valuable metals for trade with the Roman Empire. This mine, however, is out of business. The ground nearby is littered with rusty tools, broken pick handles, and piles of dirt, stones, and ore. The remnants of the operation are dusty and overgrown. Nobody has worked here for years. However, there is evidence that, while the mine is unused, it clearly isn't unoccupied. Scattered amongst the old equipment are piles of much newer leavings, bones, scraps of fur, and piles of droppings. You also find the tracks of several pairs of feet, all of them human and wearing heavy boots. You examine them carefully and guess that some Roman soldiers came here recently. The entrance to the mine is dark and quiet. If anything is living there, they're a good distance inside. The only way to find out for sure who's here is to walk in. And we shall. And here we are. Okay, I'm gonna need to get used to the new way the saving works. Sure. Take the dry meat. And... weird meat! Yeah, we're not going to... You use up 1 unit of food every time you rest. Yes, we are definitely going to need to take as much food as we can then, because resting is the only way we heal. Though the decomposition and the rats have been taking their turns with this body, there's still enough left of it to tell it that it was a Roman soldier, brutally slain, stripped, and left here. Another terrible crime against a fellow soldier and the Empire. Whoever is responsible, hiding somewhere in this underground labyrinth, they must be brought to justice. Sandals. I think some of us actually need to wear sandals. Yeah, we need sandals. Footwear! Otherwise, we'd be wandering around barefoot. A foolish thing to happen. And, sure, you can take the lamp. What else is here? A cloak! Useful. And I almost missed picking up those. More sandals! There we are. Now back to looking through this place. A few of the miners once made themselves a chilly subterranean home in these caves. Some of their furniture is still here, moldy and smelling of mildew. Under one of the tables, you see what look like the droppings of a large animal. Your keen warrior's instincts tell you that whatever left them is probably still around. The low growls echoing from the darkness are your first clue. From the look of things, this mine can't have been abandoned for more than a few years. You wonder where the miners left. Ah, yes, I can't see in there because it's so dark. Or in there. We can pick up that to sell, though. Fortunately... Oh, no, not. There we are. And now we see everything. Ew. Oh, rats! Fortunately, we don't actually have to enter combat. Ow. We can just do that. This makes things a bit faster by doing that. Candle, trash. We're actually going to need to pick up a lot of various, you know, torches and the like. Fine iron dagger and first aid kit. I'll take that. I'll take that. Not really anything in there that we can use, I don't think. Unless there's a secret passage, but I have no idea. You make your way carefully down the damp, slippery slopes, fully aware that one misstep could mean a broken leg or worse. It's dark and cold in here, a marked contrast to the glorious weather outside. As you make your way forward, you listen carefully, trying to find a clue to who lives here. Before long, you start to hear something besides dripping water and squeaking rats. There are voices ahead. You can't make out what they're saying, so you inch closer. Now you can start to hear distinct words, but they're still unintelligible to you. It's a harsh, guttural language, unlike any you've ever heard. You check to make sure your swords are still at the ready. There's danger ahead. You'd bet on it. You see a light at to the south, with several short men hunched around it, talking in their guttural tongue and sharpening their weapons. One of them notices you. You stare at each other, and reality drops out from under you. They're not men. They're not even human, and they're too short and too squat, and they have fangs, and claws, and shaggy fur all over their bodies. Their eyes glow slightly, and their lips are speckled with the meaty leavings of their last meal. You step back, confused and horrified by what you're seeing. The gods and the supernatural have always been invisible to you, acting in unseen, mysterious ways. These beings, on the other hand, are quite real and quite dangerous. On their part, although they look terribly fierce, they don't roar and they don't charge. They seem tired and resigned, like long-time campaigners as they pick up their weapons and move to attack. Well, things just went strange. These are goblins. Well, let them come to us, and we stab them dead. And this is iron dagger. Also, meat. Also, here. Heals a small amount of damage. There we are. And another one dead. Herbs. Those are useful. Will be, I mean. This door looks extremely sturdy, and the padlock on it is of an unfamiliar make. You give it a try, but you don't have any keys which work in the lock. You may have a hard time getting in here. Well, let's leave it alone then. We'll not take it unless we know we should. Oh, bronze helmet. And a lamp. You know what? Let him hold on to the lamps. There. Helmet! Oh! This is surprisingly easy because they walk up to us and we proceed to kill them. Oh, boots. Yes, we need boots there. And I don't think we actually need these sandals. Yeah, they're worth a couple coins. Sure, what the hell. Just have to remember that key. Barrel, with nothing in it. Customs may change, beliefs are malleable, ideas are lost and are found and lost, but the need to occasionally take out the trash is eternal. Makes a bit of sense there. Wolves! That is definitely a wolf. On the plus side, we're killing a lot of things. Hey, a leather helmet! Yeah, I know, this is surprisingly easy and not over much happening, but hey, it's something at least. Ooh, dice. In ancient times, as now, dice were a popular tool for gambling. Not much is known about the actual games which were played, though, and we can actually roll them to get a random number. If we wanted, I mean. Once again, may have a hard time getting in here. And there's various food in there. I'm not gonna try picking the lock right now. The goblins clearly plan to defend their home with much more than just weapons. You trip a hidden deadfall trap, dumping a load of heavy rocks onto your heads. Ow, 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 ow. I didn't even see that. Well, nice. Come here, you wolf. Ow. Ow. Okay, we could use the healing spell, thank you. Ugh. Ooh. 4 furs. Excellent. Let's see. Nothing in there, really. Ow! What the hell? One of your characters has just died. Death is an unfortunate medical condition with symptoms including immobility, inability to respond to interesting events, and a pervasive, unpleasant odor. It is almost always fatal. Fortunately, in the magical lands of Shadowvale, death can be cured. You can get this character brought back to life by speaking with the healer in your starting town. I did not see that coming. Ow. Okay, these guys are surprisingly strong. And in fact, you see a scrap of cloth on the ground. You pick it up and examine it. It's wool, speckled with blood, probably from a Roman soldier's uniform. There's a stairway down to the south. Perhaps fellow soldiers have been taken down there. Ow! As you walk down this corridor, you notice that the west wall looks unusual. It shimmers, as if it's slightly insubstantial, or maybe even not there at all. You know what? Because we just died so randomly like that, I'm just going to reload and come back to this particular location. Hey, we leveled up! That's what that sound means, and probably because I went through a bit more. Septimus leveled up! Hey, another person leveled up! 2 of them leveled up! Augustus and Octavius! Very nice. We will do more. We will upgrade eventually later on. Woodscraft. Oh, right, we did have some points in that for some reason, because I accidentally was a stupid. That said, we've pretty much gone back through just about everything I was doing, so give me a moment to save. Alright. There's that guy. This time, we're going to do something about him. Except I can't. I'm kind of blocked in. And unfortunately, you can only make 4 moves. Hey! Septimus leveled up! And we killed the guy. Good. Giving us a better shield. Excellent. Oh, I didn't see this. Bars of tin. Valuable, but heavy. And how much are we carrying? I think we'll be fine not picking it up yet. As we know, a few soldiers may have been taken down there. Let's take a look up in here. You pass a pot of cold stew made from the meat of giant rats. There's no fire pit here. The stew must have been made somewhere else and carried here. Although you're feeling a bit hungry, you decide to pass on goblin cuisine. You descend into a trash pit filled with gnawed bones and rotten trash. The smell is pretty bad. As you work your way down, you hear gnawing and hissing. At first you think it's just a few rats. Then you see what the goblins use to remove their trash. Ah! Oh jeez! Yeah, those lizards are really annoying. Giant lizard, now dead. Skull. These are the dry, pitiful mortal remains of some unfortunate person. They are dry and clean, and now serve mainly as a grisly souvenir or decoration. Yeah. There we go. That helps a lot. Again, we can't open that one. Goblins have laboriously dragged barrels of dirt down here, in order to make some sort of crude fighting pit. It may be here for training or just for fun. Either way, it's pretty bloody. And, yeah. It's insubstantial, or maybe even not there at all. This small cavern is dominated by what looks like an anvil stone. It's a flat rock, carved and smooth for the pounding out of spearheads and such, and marred by the blows of many years of use. It is also glowing. It shines with a constant dim red light, shimmering and flowing over its surface. Looking more closely, you see that the stone is marked with tiny runes, mixed in with the old hammer marks. As you look at the stone, you hear a soft whispering voice coming from the air around you. It says, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" Each repetition of this phrase sounds exactly the same. It's odd, true, but no stranger than anything else you've seen recently. Leave it alone for now, although... You know what? I'm going to save and then touch it, stupid as it may sound. Alright, let's see. Touch it. Julius? When you touch the stone, the red glow suddenly leaps up your arm, searing your flesh. As the tendrils wrap around you, your tender skin sears and blisters. Mercifully, the red glow fades and you collapse. The anvil stone goes back to normal. You hear the whispering voice again. "Not yet. Far below. The power is below. Not yet. Far below. The power is below." Huh. Well, that was interesting. Actually, yes. Sure, use first aid. Attempts first aid, you aren't able to help. Well, let's try this again. There we go. Success. Okay, first aid will actually be very useful. Alright. It's taken a while to go through all this, so I'm going to save, and we will continue this. Actually, first, let's see. We got 5 skill points with our level up, and what are we going to improve with this? Because we probably should. How about defense? Yeah, defense and more defense. That would be useful. Next, Augustus. Yeah, defense and tool use. Next, Septimus. I like the first aid. It's surprisingly useful now that I think about it, so... yeah. First aid. Yeah, first aid, and... yeah, give 2 points in first aid. That could prove useful in the future. And Octavius. Put a point in Druidism for later. Stupid as it may sound. Oh, wait. Oh, he's the one with the herb craft. Okay, we should give the herbs to him then. It doesn't matter. Anyone can carry them. And... yeah, put a point in defense. There we are. Alright. I think I'll stop for now. Next episode, we will do something. Probably head further in and find out what we can about what the hell is going on in here. That'll be in the next episode. So, until then, I am Cheswick44. That is Julius, Augustus, Septimus, and Octavius. This has been a Nethergate Resurrection Let's Play, and I will see you all next time.